Aliens know not to touch human repair stations. Human excellence speaks for itself. The asteroid field stretched for hundreds of kilometers, scattered with rocks of every size. In the middle of it floated a human repair station called Haven Point. Its metal hull glimmered under the distant sun, and long docking arms extended outward like the arms of a giant spider holding ships in place. The station was busy, alive with activity, and smelled faintly of oil and hot metal. Aliens who came here for repairs sometimes said it felt too peaceful to be a human station. That peace, however, hid something that many species feared: human skill. Jake Miller walked along the main deck, his boots clanging softly on the metal floor. He had been working at Haven Point for over 10 years, and he knew the station better than anyone. His eyes scanned the incoming ships on the docking schedule. Some were small transporters, carrying food or raw materials. Others were sleek cruisers, their hulls scarred from battle. Every ship had a story, and every story mattered. Jake, a voice called, and Lisa Grant stepped beside him. She was checking a small tablet that showed energy readings from the docking bays. The Borean cruiser is arriving early. Its hull is damaged worse than we expected. Do we have the spare shielding panels? Jake nodded, rubbing the back of his neck. We do. Noah, get the outer team ready. The Borean cruiser is not going to like waiting. Noah Brooks, the youngest mechanic on the station, ran toward the docking bay, his jumpsuit streaked with oil. He had a quick mind and steady hands, but he still needed to learn patience. Jake watched him go, remembering his own first days here when every ship seemed too complicated to repair. Now Noah was learning fast, thanks to the way humans worked, carefully, skillfully, and without panic. Outside, the Borean cruiser appeared, its dark hull gleaming despite the damage. Its engines flickered weakly as it approached the docking arm. The ship was massive, and its crew looked anxious through the thick viewports. Borean ships were known for their stubborn crews, often impatient and proud. Many of them did not like taking help from humans, believing their technology was superior. The docking clamps closed around the cruiser, and Jake, Lisa, and Noah moved toward the bay. They were joined by two other engineers, Samuel and Claire, who had been working on Haven Point for years. Together, they formed a team that could repair almost anything. Some alien engineers whispered that humans were the best in the galaxy. Others called them reckless, but the results always spoke for themselves. Jake raised his hand and signaled for calm. "Let's check the power cores first," he said. "If those are stable, we can work on the hull and shields without risk." Lisa began scanning the ship's systems. Her tablet beeped with dozens of readings. Hull integrity is at 37%. Shields are barely functional. Power cores are offline, but I think the damage is internal, not critical. Noah frowned. "That sounds bad." Jake smiled slightly. "It is, but that's why we're here." They moved quickly, but with precision. Every bolt, every wire, every panel mattered. They worked together like a single mind. Even the aliens aboard the Borean cruiser watched in amazement. Their captain, a tall figure with green scales and 4 eyes, glared at Jake. "You humans think you can fix this ship in one cycle?" the captain asked. His voice was harsh, full of disbelief. "It is a Borean cruiser. Many engineers have failed." Jake looked calmly at him. "We fix what we can. Then we fix what we cannot. That is our job." The captain snorted and turned away. He did not believe humans could do what they promised. But as the team began their work, it became clear. Panels were opened. Wires were connected with perfect precision. Energy flowed back into the core slowly, steadily, until the hum of power filled the docking bay. Noah handed Jake a new shielding panel. "Here, ready to install," he said. "Good," Jake replied. "Lisa, start the calibration sequence." We need shields at full before we test engines. Lisa tapped on her tablet, her fingers moving fast. Calibration starting. It's going to take some time, but the sequence is stable. The Borean captain watched nervously. He muttered under his breath, something in Borean language that Jake did not understand. He ignored it. He had learned long ago that alien doubt did not matter when humans were repairing a ship. Hours passed. The station worked as a single organism. Robots and drones assisted, but the humans were the center of it all. Jake climbed onto the top of the cruiser to inspect the power conduits. Noah followed, careful with each step. "Jake," Noah said, "do you think they will ever respect humans?" Jake chuckled softly. "Some never will. But respect does not come from fear. It comes from results. Today, this ship will fly again, and the captain will remember that." By evening, the work was done. The Borean cruiser's hull shone as if new. Shields hummed with energy, stable and strong. Engines glowed, ready to push the ship through the void. The captain came forward, looking at the results with disbelief. It is working," he said quietly. "How?" Jake simply smiled. "We do what we know." The captain left, still in shock. Other aliens in the docking bay whispered to one another. This was why humans were trusted. This was why no one ever attacked a human repair station. Humans did not just fix ships. They restored hope, stability, and life. In the control room of Haven Point, Jake and Lisa sat for a moment, catching their breath. Noah leaned against a console, his face tired but glowing with pride. "Not bad for a day's work," Lisa said, smiling. Jake nodded. "Not bad at all, but tomorrow there will be more ships. There is always more to fix." Noah looked out the viewport at the asteroid field, now calm under the setting sun. "Do you think people know how good humans are?" he asked. Jake looked at him and smiled. "They will learn, slowly. Some learn by fear. Others learn by experience. But humans do not need to scare anyone." Excellence speaks for itself. A small shuttle arrived carrying a delegation of alien traders who had once been repaired by Haven Point. They came with gifts, simple things like energy crystals and rare metals, but also with respect. They bowed slightly to the human engineers. "You saved us once," one of them said, "and we will always remember. That is why we come to help you now." Humans did not rule the galaxy. They did not need to. Their skill, their reliability, and their courage were enough. That alone made them untouchable. In the distance, beyond the asteroid field, faint signals showed other ships heading to Haven Point. Some were in need of repairs. Others came to trade. Every ship that docked carried the same unspoken message. Humans are different. Humans can be trusted. Humans are needed. Jake stood at the edge of the docking bay, watching the arriving ships. Lisa joined him. "It never gets old, does it?" she asked. "No," Jake replied. "Every ship is a challenge. Every ship is a chance to prove why humans are humans." Noah joined them, leaning against the railing. "Do you think the galaxy knows how strong we are?" Jake looked out at the stars. "Not yet. But they will. And when they do, they will know better than to touch a human station." That night, Haven Point was alive with light and sound. Engines purred, shields glowed, and human engineers worked with quiet determination. In the galaxy, ships whispered about the human station that could fix anything. Ships whispered about humans who never gave up, who never rushed, who always succeeded. Ships whispered about the quiet excellence that made enemies pause and friends trust. And far away in the deep black of space, some alien fleets hesitated. They had heard rumors. They had seen ships return stronger than they left. They had learned that human repair stations were not ordinary. They were untouchable. Jake, Lisa, and Noah continued their work, unaware of every rumor that would spread. They did not care. They worked for the job, for the ships, and for the people who depended on them. That was all that mattered. The galaxy slowly was learning a lesson it could not ignore. Human skill was a force to be respected, not challenged. And Haven Point, in the middle of the asteroid field, stood as proof. The asteroid field was quiet again, but the calm did not last long. In the deep black beyond Haven Point, a small fleet of pirate ships moved like shadows. They were fast and deadly, with jagged hulls and weapons that could tear through weak shields. The pirates did not care about rules or alliances. They only saw opportunity. A human repair station, full of workers and ships in dry dock, looked like the easiest target they could find. Their leader, a rough-faced alien with dark scales and a jagged voice, scanned the sensor readings.
"There," he said, pointing at the display.
"That station, humans work there. Do you see the docks full of ships? They are weak. They will surrender quickly." One of his crew hissed. "Are you sure? We heard stories. Humans fix everything. They are dangerous." The pirate leader laughed. "Stories are for weaklings. I am stronger than any tale. Humans? They are tools, nothing more. Dock your ships and prepare to take what we want." Back at Haven Point, the station's calm routine continued. Jake Miller was in the central hub coordinating repairs for a group of small merchant ships. Lisa Grant adjusted power levels on a transport vessel whose engines had been overheating. Noah Brooks moved from one work bay to another, helping wherever he could. The humans did not see the approaching pirates. Their focus was on the work, and nothing distracted them from it. Emily Ross, a young pilot, had just arrived in a small shuttle. She was a civilian, carrying rare supplies from a nearby colony. Her engines had failed mid-flight, and she barely made it to the station. She stepped onto the metal deck, amazed at the size of Haven Point and the number of humans working. "Wow," she whispered to herself. "This place? It's incredible." Jake noticed her and smiled. "Welcome to Haven Point. We'll get your shuttle running in no time." Emily nodded, her nerves calming. "Thank you. I don't know how I would have made it otherwise." Meanwhile, the pirate fleet jumped closer. Their sensors had detected the station's activity. They saw the ships docked, the human workers outside in their jumpsuits, and the shuttle that had just arrived. The pirates did not know the rules, nor did they care. Their commander sent a transmission, loud and harsh. "This is Commander Zarlok," the voice boomed across the communications channels. "Prepare to surrender your ships and supplies. Resistance will not be tolerated. We will take what is ours." The transmission caused chaos among the aliens docked at Haven Point. Some panicked and tried to initiate undocking sequences. Others froze, unsure what to do. Many species knew the rumors but had never seen an attack on a human station. Jake stood calmly. "Everyone stay docked. Do not move ships unless I say so." Lisa frowned at the sensors. "They are approaching fast. Shields will hold, but just barely." "What should we do?" Jake shook his head. "We keep doing what we always do, repair and protect the ships here. The rest will take care of itself." Noah looked confused. "But shouldn't we fight back? They could destroy the station." Jake smiled faintly. "Noah, this is not about fighting. This is about being human. Let the work speak." The pirates fired a warning shot. The beam hit one of the outer modules, causing a small explosion and shaking the station. Smoke filled the bay for a moment, and the alarms went off. Aliens screamed and ran for cover. Emily froze, gripping the railing. "They're going to destroy everything," she shouted. Jake walked past her, calm and steady. "No, they are about to learn a lesson." He pressed a few buttons on a console, activating an old signaling system. It was not a distress call in the usual sense. It sent a message to every ship that had ever been repaired at Haven Point, broadcasting in codes only those ships could recognize. Ships that had once been rebuilt, upgraded, and restored now received the call. At first, nothing happened. The pirate fleet continued moving closer, confident in their strength. They laughed at the station's silence, thinking it was fear. Then, on the far sensors, faint blips appeared. One by one, they grew larger. Merchant vessels, freighters, cargo haulers, and even old military ships that had been repaired by humans were moving toward Haven Point. The pirate leader frowned. What is that?" Jake watched the screens in the central hub. "That," he said quietly, "is gratitude." The alien traders, scientists, and cargo captains formed a protective formation around Haven Point. They had no heavy weapons, but their ships were steady, their shields strong, and their engines reliable. Each vessel was modified with human upgrades, shield matrices that could absorb heavy fire, engines that could maneuver precisely, and systems that rarely failed. Noah stared at the sensors. "There are hundreds of ships. How did they all know to come?" Jake shrugged. "We fix their ships. We help them when no one else will. They remember. That is all." Emily gasped. "This is incredible. They're protecting the station just because you helped them?" Jake nodded. "Exactly. Humans do not need armies to be safe. We just need to be humans." The pirates tried to advance, but their sensors kept picking up more ships arriving. Some old freighters, long retired, had been upgraded with human technology. Shields flared, engines burned bright, and weapons activated automatically, ready to disable without destroying. The pirate leader shouted orders, but his crew panicked. They had expected easy prey. They had expected weak humans. Instead, they faced a fleet that moved as one, coordinated by the silent trust built over years of repairs and aid. Emily's eyes widened. They're surrounding the pirates." Jake watched the pirate ships falter. "Yes, and they are not here to kill. They are here to protect. That is the difference." Noah felt his heart racing. "But we didn't even fight." "We didn't do anything," Jake smiled. "We worked. That is enough." The pirate leader tried to fire again, hoping to break the formation. One of the upgraded freighters, once thought useless, glided smoothly in front of the pirates and disabled their weapons with precise bursts. The pirate ships could not move fast enough, their engines suddenly failing in mid-jump. Inside Haven Point, the humans continued their repairs calmly. Smoke and alarms were present, but no one panicked. Lisa adjusted a shield conduit, stabilizing the outer modules. Noah tightened bolts on a shuttle that had just arrived. Emily watched in awe as humans moved with focus, almost as if nothing were happening outside. Hours passed. The pirate ships were finally immobilized. None were destroyed, but none could escape. The station hummed with life. The aliens who had come to help the humans communicated across channels, explaining that this was a pirate attack and that humans had called them for protection. Commander Zarlok glared at his immobilized fleet. "Impossible," he hissed. "How did they do this?" Jake leaned back in the central hub chair. "We didn't. They did it themselves. Every ship here owes something to humans. Every pilot owes something. We just reminded them." Emily finally understood. This is why no one attacks human stations. Not because they have huge weapons, not because they fight, but because everyone who has been helped will protect them. Noah looked amazed. It's like human skill creates loyalty. Not fear, not force. Jake nodded. Exactly. That is why humans are respected. That is why no one touches our repair stations. The pirate leader finally lowered his head, defeated. His fleet was trapped, humiliated. He had underestimated humans. He had ignored their reputation. He had thought skill was weakness. Now he knew it was power, stronger than any weapon. After the pirates were left drifting and harmless, the alien traders who had helped spoke quietly to the humans. You saved the station. You saved the ships. You... Bah. You changed the outcome. We owe you everything. Jake shook his head. We didn't save anything. We just did our job. The rest came from loyalty, from trust. Emily, standing near the viewport, whispered, I've never seen anything like this. Humans really are different. Noah smiled for the first time that day. I think I understand now. It's not about strength or weapons or numbers. It's about what humans do and how they do it. The station slowly returned to normal. Repairs continued, systems hummed, and life went on as if nothing had happened. Ships left, others arrived. The story of the pirate fleet spread quickly among nearby star systems. Aliens whispered of the human station that could not be touched, of the humans who could make enemies hesitate without firing a single shot. Jake, Lisa, and Noah continued their work quietly without celebrating nor bragging. That was not their way. They had repaired ships, protected lives, and reminded the galaxy why humans were different. Emily finally stepped aside, taking a deep breath. I will never forget this. Humans, you are something else. We just do our job. Excellence speaks for itself. Outside, the stars twinkled, and the asteroid field stretched on. Haven Point remained, calm and steady, a beacon of human skill. The pirate fleet was a warning, not a lesson in violence. Humans did not need to destroy to be respected. The galaxy was learning slowly but surely. Human repair stations were untouchable. Humans themselves were a force that others could not ignore. The day ended with ships arriving and leaving, repairs finishing, and life continuing. But somewhere, deep in the galaxy, the whispers grew louder. Humans are different. Humans are exceptional. And Haven Point, quiet and steadfast in the asteroid field, stood as proof that human excellence could protect far more than any weapon ever could. The calm after the pirate attack lasted only a few days. Word of Haven Point's actions spread faster than any human could imagine. Alien traders, scientists, and pilots who had been saved or repaired by the humans carried stories across star systems. The stories were simple but powerful. Humans did not fight to dominate, yet no one could touch them. Humans fixed what others could not, and those who were helped became their protectors. Jake Miller walked through the main deck of Haven Point, observing the activity. Ships were arriving one after another, some with minor damage, others needing complete overhauls. Lisa Grant moved alongside him, her tablet full of schedules and power readings. Noah Brooks followed, carrying a new set of shielding panels to one of the bays. Look at the docking schedule, Lisa said, pointing at her screen. We have almost 50 ships lined up today. Most are coming from systems we haven't even visited. Jake nodded. That is good. More ships, more work. That keeps the station running, and it reminds the galaxy why humans are needed. Noah frowned. But doesn't it make us a bigger target? More ships means more people who might attack. Jake smiled. Noah, Haven Point has never been attacked by those who understand humans. People respect skill. People respect help. That is our real defense. Emily Ross had stayed at the station after her shuttle was repaired. She moved through the docking bays, amazed at the activity. I can't believe how many ships you handle at once. It's incredible. Lisa laughed softly. It is not magic, just patience, skill, and focus. We do not rush. We do not panic. Every ship is treated as important because it is. Emily looked out the viewport at the asteroid field. It's like you make everyone who comes here a friend. Even enemies would think twice about touching this place. Jake nodded. Exactly. Humans do not need fear to create safety. Trust is stronger than any weapon. That day, a new ship appeared on the outer sensors. It was a scout from the Tarlan Empire, a proud and aggressive species that rarely showed mercy. The scout approached cautiously, scanning Haven Point from a distance. The crew's chatter was tense. "This is a human station," one of them said. "We have heard stories. They say they fix what no one else can. They say attacking it is unwise." The captain of the scout frowned. "Stories are stories. Let us see if they are true." The scout docked carefully, wary of every movement. Jake and Lisa approached with Noah and Emily, ready to inspect the ship. The Tarlon crew did not hide their suspicion. Their technology was advanced and they believed they were superior. Jake smiled politely. "Welcome to Haven Point. We will inspect your systems and repair any damage," the captain hissed, his voice sharp. "Do you repair everything? Even the Tarlon war engines?" Jake shrugged. "We repair what we can. Then we repair what others think cannot be fixed. That is our work." The Tarlon crew exchanged nervous glances. They had heard the stories of human skill, but seeing it in action was different. Jake, Lisa, Noah, and the rest of the team moved with quiet precision, inspecting engines, shields, and power cores. Every bolt, every conduit, every panel was handled with care. Hours passed. The humans worked without pause, without complaint. The Tarlon crew watched in disbelief as systems that were thought lost or damaged beyond repair suddenly stabilized. Energy flowed smoothly through the engines, shields glowed at full strength, and weapons systems calibrated perfectly. The captain could not hide his astonishment. How do you do this?" he asked, his voice almost whispering. Jake looked at him calmly. "We focus on the work, we respect the machines, and we do not give up. That is how." By the time the Tarlon scout was ready to leave, its systems were stronger than they had ever been. The captain bowed slightly, a gesture of respect. "I will remember this. Humans, you are not like others." As the scout left, other ships began appearing on sensors. Reports came from multiple systems. Smaller fleets, cargo vessels, freighters, and scouts were all moving toward Haven Point. Some came to seek repairs. Others came out of curiosity, wanting to witness human skill firsthand. Noah watched the incoming ships nervously. Are all of these ships going to be like the pirates, trying to attack? Jake shook his head. "No, Noah. Most of these ships come because they respect humans. Some come because they want to learn. And some come because they know if they do not, they might lose the chance to be helped when needed." Emily whispered, "It's like the galaxy itself is listening to you. You didn't even have to threaten anyone." Lisa smiled. "Humans have always been this way. We help. We repair. We do not ask for thanks. But the galaxy notices. That is enough." The next day, a Tarlon fleet of 6 ships arrived near the station. Jake watched the sensors carefully. The ships maintained a respectful distance. their crews communicating quietly. They were not hostile. They were observers, witnesses to what humans could do. Jake turned to Lisa. "Looks like they want to see our work up close." Lisa nodded. "Then we give them the best. Let them see excellence in action." The team worked quickly, but carefully. Each ship received inspections, minor repairs, and upgrades where needed. Humans were methodical, calm, and precise. Every alien crew watched in awe. Many whispered among themselves about how humans could achieve such results without fear, anger, or brute force. Emily followed the Tarlon fleet captain as he toured the docking bays. "I don't understand," she said quietly. "Why do they let humans do this? Why don't they just take control?" The captain shook his head. "Because humans are different. I do not know how to describe it. They do not need armies to enforce respect. They do not need threats to ensure obedience. Their skill, it commands loyalty, not fear." Noah, standing nearby, finally understood. It's not just the work. It's the way humans do it. Calm, steady, confident, and never giving up. Jake watched the interaction silently. Exactly. That is why human stations are untouchable. That is why humans are respected. It is not weapons. It is not size. It is trust, loyalty, and skill combined. By evening, the station had handled dozens of ships. The aliens who had come were not just satisfied, they were inspired. They began sharing their experiences with others, carrying stories of humans who could repair what seemed impossible. Even the pirate fleet from before remained a warning, now silent in deep space. Their leader had learned the hard way that humans did not fight in the usual sense, but they had allies everywhere. Every ship repaired, every life saved, every system restored built loyalty stronger than any weapon. Emily stood on the viewport, watching ships leave for distant systems. "The galaxy, it's going to remember this," she said softly. Jake nodded. "Yes, and slowly they will learn. Humans do not need to fight to be powerful. They need only to be themselves." Noah smiled, finally understanding. "I get it now. That's why no one touches human repair stations. That's why the galaxy respects humans." Lisa added quietly, "And it will only grow stronger with time. Every ship we repair, every system we save, it builds trust that cannot be broken." Over the next few cycles, more ships arrived. Some were old and fragile, some were sleek and advanced, and some were exotic species humans had never seen before. Every ship received the same careful attention. Every crew left with admiration and respect. Jake, Lisa, and Noah worked tirelessly, yet they did not tire. They had done this countless times, and they would continue to do so. It was not for glory or reward. It was for excellence, for duty, and for the quiet power of human skill. The galaxy began to notice. Traders spoke in hushed tones about Haven Point. Pirates reconsidered their plans. Aggressive fleets paused before approaching. Every system where humans had once repaired a ship knew the unspoken rule: do not attack. Humans were not weak. Humans were untouchable. And deep in the asteroid field, Haven Point floated like a shining example. Its lights glowed, its engines hummed, and its crew worked with quiet determination. The galaxy was learning, slowly but surely, that human skill, calmness, and loyalty were forces greater than fear or violence. Emily finally whispered to Noah as they watched the docking bays, "Humans, we really are something else." Noah nodded, smiling. "Yes, and the galaxy is only beginning to understand it." Jake looked at the viewport, watching ships move among the asteroids. Tomorrow, more ships will come. More crews will learn, and the galaxy will continue to respect human excellence. That is how we survive, how we thrive. Not through fear, but through skill, trust, and perseverance. The stars twinkled in the distance, and Haven Point remained steadfast. The humans inside knew their work mattered. They were quiet, humble, and focused, but the galaxy could not ignore them. Slowly, systems and species were realizing the same truth. Human excellence was not a threat. It was proof that strength could take many forms, and none were stronger than skill and loyalty combined. And as the asteroid field stretched endlessly into the black, Haven Point's lights continued to shine. Its work continued, and the galaxy, piece by piece, was learning to respect humans in a way that no weapon could ever demand. The asteroid field was quiet at first, but soon the distant blips of incoming ships filled the sensors again. Word of Haven Point's reputation had reached the far corners of the galaxy, and now more ships were arriving than ever before. Humans did not patrol the field, nor did they fire warning shots. They simply continued their work, repairing, restoring, and perfecting. Yet every ship that approached carried respect, awe, and sometimes fear. Jake Miller walked the main deck, his boots clanging softly on the metal floor. Lisa Grant followed him, scanning incoming data. Noah Brooks trailed behind, carrying replacement parts. The trio had grown accustomed to the constant flow of activity, but today felt different. Signals from distant fleets indicated that more than just traders and scouts were coming. Larger ships, potentially warships, were approaching. Emily Ross, standing near the viewport, whispered, "Jake, are they coming to attack?" Jake shook his head. "No. They're coming to see, to understand, to respect. Humans do not need to threaten to be noticed. Our work speaks louder than weapons ever could." Noah looked uneasy. "But what if they misinterpret it? What if they think we are weak?" Jake smiled calmly. "Then they will learn the hard way. But most will listen. Most always do. Watch and see." The first of the larger ships appeared on the sensors, a fleet from the Karen Alliance. The Karens were proud warriors, known for their strict codes and military might. Their ships were sleek and armed, and their captains often demanded obedience from anyone in their path. The Karen flagship hovered near the edge of the asteroid field. A communication channel opened, and a tall, armored captain's voice echoed through the station. "Human Haven Point," the captain said. "We have heard reports of your work. Your reputation precedes you. We are here to observe. We do not attack. But we expect proof that your claims are true." Jake nodded. "Then we will give you proof. Dock your ships, and we will begin." Lisa adjusted the docking clamps to accommodate the massive vessels. Noah handed tools and components to other engineers, while Emily watched, her eyes wide with anticipation. The Corans moved carefully, docking without incident. Their crews were tense but curious. The humans began their work immediately. They moved through the docking bays like a well-oiled machine. Panels were opened, engines examined, power cores calibrated, shields reinforced. Every adjustment was precise, every connection secure, every system tested. One Karan engineer whispered to another, "I've never seen repairs done like this. Faster than our best engineers and cleaner. Nothing is left unchecked." Hours passed and the Koran ships transformed. Their engines, once flawed from minor damage, now purred smoothly. Shields that had been unreliable glowed with full energy. Even their weapon systems, though not modified for attack, were calibrated perfectly, with precision only humans could achieve. The Koran captain walked through the docking bay, observing silently. He had expected humans to be clever, yes, but not this capable. Not this exact. His eyes scanned the engineers at work, noting their calm focus. "How do they do this?" he whispered to a subordinate. "They are not like any species I've seen. They do not rush. They do not panic. And yet everything they touch works better than before." Noah overheard and whispered to Jake, "They're impressed, aren't they?" Jake nodded. "Yes, and that is exactly what happens when humans do their work." By evening, all the Corin ships were fully operational. The crews ran system checks repeatedly, trying to find flaws, but every system held perfectly. Even the smallest misalignment or glitch had been corrected. The Corin stood silently, awe and respect mingling in their expressions. The Corin captain finally stepped forward. "Humans," he said, his voice lower and softer than before, "we came to judge. We came to see if the stories were true. We see now the galaxy has spoken correctly. You are exceptional." Emily glanced at Jake. "You didn't even fight. You didn't threaten them. And yet, they respect you." Jake smiled faintly. "Exactly. Skill and calmness are stronger than weapons. Loyalty and trust are stronger than fear. That is the human way." Word of the Corin visit spread quickly. Soon ships from dozens of other species arrived, some with damage, some simply to observe. Traders, explorers, freighters, and small warships crowded the sensors. Everyone came to see the humans who had earned the respect of the galaxy. Noah watched the sensors nervously. "This is overwhelming. So many ships. What if someone decides to attack?" Jake shook his head. "No one will. They have all seen it. Humans are different. Our work creates allies, loyalty, and respect. That is our defense. That is our strength." Emily moved closer to Jake. "It's amazing. I've never seen anything like this. You don't need weapons or armies. You just do your work." Lisa smiled. "And that is why the galaxy respects humans. That is why no one touches our stations. That is why every system that has ever been helped becomes part of a silent network of protection." As the day continued, more ships arrived. Some were distant fleets, who had heard the stories but never witnessed human skill firsthand. Others were old vessels that had been repaired years before, now coming to show gratitude. They formed protective positions around Haven Point, ready to respond to any threat, yet waiting patiently. Jake walked through the bays, checking systems and offering guidance. Noah followed, learning every move. Emily observed, taking in the calm confidence of the engineers. Even Lisa paused to watch a new alien crew marvel at a repaired power core. By nightfall, the asteroid field glowed with the lights of hundreds of ships. Haven Point remained calm in the center, its engines humming, its docking bays alive with activity. The humans did not celebrate. They continued their work, steady and focused, while the galaxy around them took notice. The pirate fleet from before had retreated far into uncharted space. The leader had sent a message to all nearby systems: never attack human stations. Too many ships, too many skilled humans, too many allies. Even the most aggressive species had learned. Humans did not fight in the normal way, yet they were untouchable. Emily finally whispered, "I think I understand now. Humans are untouchable, not because of fear, but because of respect, loyalty, skill, trust." Noah nodded. "It's true. Every ship they repair, every life they save, it builds a network. And that network is stronger than any weapon." Jake looked out at the ships surrounding Haven Point. "That is why humans survive. That is why we thrive. The galaxy respects us because of what we do, how we do it, and who we are. Not because we fight, but because we excel." As the asteroid field stretched into the darkness, the humans at Haven Point worked tirelessly. Repairs continued, new arrivals docked, and life went on as usual. The galaxy, piece by piece, was learning that human skill was a force unlike any other. Systems that had once ignored or doubted humans now understood. Human repair stations were untouchable. Humans themselves were a power to be respected. The next morning, signals came from a fleet at the edge of known space. It was an entire convoy of diplomatic ships, warships, and freighters. They had heard stories of Haven Point and wished to see the humans themselves. They arrived slowly, carefully, and waited for docking permission. Jake turned to Lisa. "Another day, another fleet," Lisa nodded. "And another chance to remind the galaxy why humans are humans." Noah carried tools past them, looking at the ships lined up for repair. "I think I understand, Jake. I think I really understand now. We don't need to fight to be powerful. We just do our work." Jake smiled. Excellence speaks for itself, and in the galaxy, nothing speaks louder than human excellence. Emily whispered quietly, watching the lights of the station and the surrounding ships. "Humans, we really are something else." Jake nodded, looking at the asteroid field stretching endlessly into the black. And the galaxy is only beginning to understand that. One ship at a time, one life at a time, one repair at a time, Haven Point will continue. Humanity will continue, and no one will ever forget what it means to respect humans. Outside, the stars shone quietly. Haven Point glimmered in their light, a beacon of skill, calm, and loyalty. Ships moved around the station, some leaving, some arriving, but all carrying the same message. Humans are exceptional. Humans are trusted. Humans are untouchable. And in the quiet hum of engines, the steady clanging of tools, and the calm voices of the engineers, the galaxy learned the truth. Humans did not need fear. Humans did not need weapons. Humans only needed to be themselves. Excellence, trust, and skill were enough. And nothing could ever take that from them. Haven Point continued its work, floating peacefully among the asteroids. The galaxy, watching from near and far, whispered the same lesson over and over. Do not attack human repair stations. Do not challenge humans. They are untouchable. Their excellence speaks for itself. And so, the humans of Haven Point worked quietly, humbly, but powerfully, shaping the galaxy in a way that no warship, no fleet, and no threat ever could.